What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys all had a profitable betting night on Tuesday and hope you're ready to cash some tickets with us here on Wednesday. We have a decent slate of games here on a Wednesday night. Not too bad. Past couple of weeks, we've had some quieter slates on Wednesdays, but a handful of games to go over. And we will do that with, of course, myself, Andrew McInnis, Carmine Bianco, and the Prez, taking a look at a handful of these games. Carm, good morning to you, my friend. What games are we breaking down today?
Andrew, you sound like I feel, which is absolutely terrible. I'm suffering from migraines today. You have a cold. The Prez he never gets sick anyways. He's on the show, but he'll wait. We're going to talk Utah and Toronto. Utah on the second of a back-to-back. Prez is going to break that one down. Then you and I are going to do the Blues and the Caps, San Jose and Seattle. Possibly a same game parlay. There is no pod play today after yesterday's Florida embarrassment. I'm taking a day off from the pod, and we'll come back fresh and strong on Thursday with a much better card than it is today. And I welcome everyone into our chat room. Willow 3, Titans, Sammy, Christopher. Yeah, Christopher, we're going to try and get the bread tonight. A small slate of action, but a good slate of action, Andrew. Let's bring him in. The man, the legend. Is it called the man, the myth, the legend, or the man, the legend,
just
the myth?
me,
I'm not
Carm.
really sure.
Me.
It's just the Prez. Andrew, I'm going to give him. I'm going to give him a little bit of credit because we normally don't talk shows here like Netflix and Apple and all this other stuff. But Prez recommended something to Stacia and I. He's like the last frontier. You've got to see it. Watch the first 2 episodes on Apple TV last night instead of watching the Florida abomination against Anaheim. And my God, that is a great series after 2 episodes. Fantastic. Prez?
Yeah. And well, listen, only 5 episodes are out. There's 10 to go. And normally I do not recommend a show until it's over. Otherwise, imagine suggesting a show like Lost to somebody. They give up 7 years of their life only to not have an ending. What would that be like going to a strip joint? But I loved it. And Jason Clarke is really great. And the amazing thing is that girl looks like every second scene, she looks exactly like Jennifer Lawrence, and then she doesn't. It's uncanny. But I highly recommend that show, The Last Frontier. Terrible name. But it's on Apple TV, and it's like a thinking man's version of Con Air.
Yeah.
And for the record, when I say man, I mean all genders.
Yes. Andrew, I will say this. It is a cool episode. You and Lindsay definitely have to watch it. Stace watches like these things like Criminal Minds and CSI, and
I like that stuff too.
We're watching Monster, the Ed Gein story, like these dark ones. She just loves them. Like, I'm going to end up in like some container or one of those containers where my body is dissolving in like lye or whatever it is and stuff. They'll never find my bones. She's more likely to kill me than the other way around. But with that
we
said,
just finished the show called You. We just wrapped it up. Not bad. Not bad show. Kind of weird too, though.
But speaking of you, Prez, who do you like in Utah versus Toronto? Utah.
Well, who do I like in Utah? I like Ulta, Snowbird, Park City, Deer Valley, Powder Mountain. The actual city of Park City is one of the nicest places in all of America, and Utah is my favorite state. So that's what I like in Utah. In Toronto, there is a hockey game, and the Leafs are playing the Mammoth. By the way, I also like Utah's name. And it's not easy to come up with names anymore. A lot of names are taken. So congrats to the Mammoth's name. Carm, let me bottom line this. I've been betting the Leafs. They are horrible right now. Yet, they've won 4 of their last 5 games. Amazing how you could be so bad and still win 4 of your last 5 games. The game they played against Pittsburgh might have been the worst game they've played in years. They had 8 shots on net at the end of the second period. Then they came out guns a-blazing. They put together their best period of the season, and they ended up winning 4-3. Let me break this down. I think this is an excellent spot to bet the Leafs, and I think this is a bad spot to bet the Mammoth. The reason this is a good spot to bet the Leafs is they fall into my favorite angle of all time, and I tell you guys about this angle regularly, and it works in every single sport. I found this angle out from Matthew Barnaby, who kept telling me over and over and over again, when do you want to bet on a team? You want to bet on a team after they play like total garbage and win. And there is a reason for that. They're not down in the dumps. They won. They recognize that they played like garbage and they feel like it's behind them. They won. The coach is able to scream and yell at them because they sucked without upsetting them because they won. It is a great angle, and it applies tonight. The Leafs were outshot by Pittsburgh 20-37. Isn't that where every Leaf game Ice X? Not necessarily. The Leafs played Columbus, outshot them 36-24. They played Calgary, outshot them 37-29. They played Philadelphia, allowed 6 power plays and beat them 5-2 for a spectacular game. So no, not at all. They played like total hogwash crap against Pittsburgh. Now, why do I think this is a good spot to bet against Utah? Utah won like 8 games in a row. Then they lost 2 to Edmonton and Tampa Bay. Then they won last night against Buffalo. They are on a back-to-back, and they also played spectacular last night. They outshot Buffalo 35-18, and they totally dominated the puck possession and the play of that game. This is a back-to-back travel spot for Utah. Utah is not a team that is going to win 8 out of 10 games on a regular basis. I don't think they win 8 out of 10 again this year. I think this is a better Utah team than in the past. I think this Utah team is going to make a run towards the playoffs. I just think given that they are in a back-to-back situation, they are playing their 3rd game in 4 nights, and they're playing a Leaf team that is in that spot that I dream about. I like the Leafs. You can get them as low as -146.
Lawrence,
was that a long enough breakdown for you guys?
No, that's good. So obviously you watch that game. Berube, he's not going to let them forget the fact that they played terrible and yet they still won. He's not happy about it. It's tough to say he's not happy with a win, but he wasn't happy with the win because he wasn't happy with the performance. Now the thing is, they played well in the third period because they moved Nylander to the top line with Matthews and Nyes. Is that something you think he would try right from the get-go, or is that weaken the second line?
You know, firstly, I think it's also related to matchups. So I think when playing Colorado, I would not do that. When playing Utah, I would stack the line because I don't think Utah's second line is going to be any better than the Leafs' second line without Nylander. So, you know, that's sort of Utah's a stacked first line. Stack your first line. But if you're playing, you know, Florida, I wouldn't do it. If you're playing Tampa Bay, I wouldn't do it. I think in the long run, they will keep those guys apart, and it is better to have 2 strong lines coming out. But, you know, when push comes to shove, you can always just move them up going into the third period. So yeah, I had a 4% last night. I want to shout out to all the guys who purchased it. It was that $5 Tuesday play I made. I mean, hundreds of sales. So I'm so appreciative. Vegas in regulation. And I wrote in there that Vegas was going to totally dominate Detroit. And you look at the scoreboard, it was 1-0 Vegas. It's like, where was the domination? Did you guys watch that game?
I
No.
fell asleep watching it, actually. I gave out a money
That was
line
like a
parlay.
6-0 hockey game.
Yeah, it deserved to be a lot better.
Yeah.
It kind of scared me, so I took Minnesota and Vegas together. I don't really do parlays usually with clients, and both of them were like the sweatiest games ever, but
Yeah.
they both
I was
dominated.
freaking out, dude. And
Yeah.
after that idiot offside, brain cramp twat goes offside, carrying the puck in,
Yeah.
which
Prez, the
shows
only
you
thing
the
with this game
Kucherov
here,
situation.
the
Sorry.
game opened 171 and it's down
Yeah.
to 145, 150. Like that's what kind
So-
of like, I know we shouldn't read too much into that
No,
stuff.
I'm going to
here, but
answer that question, Andrew,
let's hear
and
it.
I'm
Let's
glad
hear
you brought it up because it allows me to promote my show. So every day I do a show called The Best Betting Show Ever. I did not name it. We did that show and we asked everybody to vote. 20,000 people voted and called it the best betting show ever. So you guys might want to check it out because it's the best betting show ever. On that show is me, Art DeCesar, and Joe Ranieri. And every day Art comes on and he tells us what is going on at the Westgate. My answer to you, Andrew, is every single morning, the team that receives the most love over the last 2 weeks has been the Utah Mammoth. Clockwork, total clockwork. The wise guys are betting Utah every single morning, every day.
But they've been kind of right, though. That's the problem.
Yeah,
This team
sure,
actually looks pretty
of
good.
course.
But I agree, though. I think for this Maple Leafs team, like that spot that you talk about quite a bit, like, let's be honest, like some of the guys that I even talk to on Twitter that are like Maple Leafs diehard fans, that I'll go back and forth with them. They know I'm a hardcore Canadians fan. They say, well, we don't even care about what happens from now until April. And that sometimes could be a problem, Prez. They don't care. You know, they got to pick their spots really to care about when they want to show up. Like those
they
guys,
better care because it's going to be hard for any team to make the playoffs these days. But Andrew, I got to run. But listen, brother, I met Martin. I stay at a hotel when I go to Montreal called the Warwick. It's one of the nicest hotels ever. The first 10 floors or 11 floors are hotels. The remaining 10 floors above are apartments. Martin hopped into my elevator.
Did you just give away where he lives?
I stay where he lives. And he's so little, dude. He's like, I'm 5'7", and I was like, you're so
Are you
little.
taller than Martin St. Louis?
No, but it's basically the same height. We're basically the same height.
Did you give him any coaching tips or?
He's got, I did try to give him some coaching tips. Obviously, you know me, Carm. He's such a nice guy, though. Oh, he's such a nice guy. Lots of love, everybody.
All right.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Wait, hold on. What do you got to promote?
You know, honestly, look, I'm killing it right now. Finally, in NHL, it took me a while. I've won 7 of my last 8 days. I got one play up tonight, but forget all that. My parlay. Andrew and Andy and these guys who do parlays, they taught this old man new tricks. There is a way to win betting parlays. You got to do it on the money line. I am 8-3 in NFL money line parlays this season. 8-3. And my biggest money line parlay ever, I mean, in my life, I released for this Sunday. So check that out, guys. Lots of love.
All right.
Thanks for having me, Carmen Andrew. I won't be around next week, but I'll be back the week after. Go Leafs.
See you, Press. Take care.
Andrew, I was going to add, purchase my NFL on Sunday and I'll give you Prez's play for free.
Yeah.
That'll
up
piss
Carmen
him.
Andrew, we'll give you all of Prez's plays.
That's it. It'll piss him right off. Andrew, I don't know what to make of this next game. You got the Capitals 147 against the Blues plus 121. The total sits here at 6. And if you're looking for consistency, you're not finding it in any of these two teams. You know, you get the Blues. And I talk about, Andrew, when a team breaks a long losing streak, I want to come back with them and play them the next time out. And what was it? 7 games in a row, the St. Louis Blues lost before they beat the Edmonton Oilers 3-2. And then just when it looked like Washington was putting it together, winning like 5 of 6, they've lost like 4 straight games, losing to the Sabres in OT. Honestly, I can't lay the VIG with Washington here. I just can't. I can't find a way around saying, hey, 147 seems like a great deal right now. Like, I want to take the Blues. They're like plus 121. I think that might be the right play. I'm likely going to stay off of this game, but these are two teams where there's just no consistency whatsoever. Unless losing is part of consistency, then the Blues have done a very good job of that, and the Caps have done a very good job of late. Maybe someone in chat, other than Wash Redskins, who's going to tell you that the Caps are going to win like 82 games in a row. I see in their Caps smash spot. Not entirely sure. Maybe St. Louis hits the road and picks up a W in the capital. Plus 121. You give me plus 130. I'll take it. Do I wait? Do I wait for the money to come in on Washington? I think we're going to go mano a mano on this one. You look like you're in a fighting mood.
Carm, I'm in a fighting mood with my bed, as I just want to keep sleeping until I feel better. But I think that if this game, no matter who wins, I think we're going to see some goals in this one. On the season, expected goals, 5-on-5 numbers, Washington ranked 4th and St. Louis ranked 6th in the entire National Hockey League. But yet both these teams have not been scoring as of late. I think that for a team like the Washington Capitals, it works well for them that they haven't played since Saturday. Like, you know how sometimes that we say, okay, well, this team just took a bad loss. Now it's a good thing they get to play the next day, or they get to play in 2 days. But I think it's a good thing for the Washington Capitals that they've had a decent amount of rest. You know, like there's no denying, Carm, they've looked horrible their last couple games. You know, they lose against the Sabres, the Islanders, shutout against the Stars, and then 7-1 loss against the Senators last weekend. There's not much they can really be excited about, or 2 weekends ago. The only thing I could say that really helps their case here is that rest. You know, playing the game Wednesday night. They have not been in action since Saturday, and they're playing on home ice, which is kind of intriguing to me. But I'm going to be a little contrarian with some of these teams struggling to score consistently, and I do lean towards the over in this game, actually, Carm. I think the rest benefits the offensive firepower of, you know, guys like Ovechkin and Dylan Strome and Alexei Protas and some of these guys. And I also think that St. Louis is struggling defensively. You know, they're scratching guys. They've got guys that they're worried about. They're getting bad quotes coming out about them. And overall, they're relying too much on goaltending, which is why, like, this is what makes me laugh. Binnington does not have great numbers this year so far, Carm. But look how the St. Louis Blues are doing. Like, I know we can use the advanced stats to kind of grade how goaltenders have been playing this season, but why do we all think that Jordan Binnington played how he did last year for the St. Louis Blues and then went and played how he did for Team Canada at the Four Nations? Sometimes it's not you. Sometimes it is the team in front of you, you know, and I don't think the defense this year hasn't been that great for the Blues in front of Jordan Binnington. The live chat right now is talking a lot about the goalie situation, and people have commented actually on my show I did last night, Carm. They think it will not be Logan Thompson, but I have not seen any goalie confirmation. I thought it would be Binnington against Thompson, but I have not seen any confirmation at some of the sites that I use. But if it is Lindgren, then it does help my case even more towards the over. But I do think we're going to see some goals here tonight in this one.
RotoWire, the only goalie confirmed thus far on RotoWire is Logan Thompson for Washington tonight against.
Confirmed. Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's the only one. But with a grain of salt, last year on numerous occasions, they confirmed a goalie and it turned out to be somebody else that was changed, right? And they normally confirm it based on what a reporter finds out from a coach that says, you know, it's Logan Thomas should be starting tonight. We have a couple of days off or what have you, right? So, you know, with that said, you got to take that with a grain of salt. But they've been right with all of their goalie confirmations thus far this season. It's early on. I think in the middle of the season, when the grind starts in the NHL, when we get into like games 40, 50, and 60 for teams, if you're a goalie dependent better, you're really going to have to wait a little bit, because you're going to have to wait to see the reports of who's the first goalie off the ice. And that's the guy who's likely going to start. Some ugly games tonight, Andrew, some good games. I just can't get a pulse on this one. And like I said, the Blues would only be a price play for me. If I could get them a little bit higher, then I likely will take it. I'm just looking to see what the price is. I think the highest I can get right now is, well, I'm not ESPN Bet or Hard Rock. So across the board, probably DraftKings plus 124 is the best I can get. Washington opened 164 and it's down to like 147. So we'll see. I didn't grab any overnight because I had no opinion on it. With that said,
any questions?
Yes.
Are your Circa picks public?
Are my Circa picks public? Yes. So I want to distinguish two things. Two things. Number one, I put in my Circa picks every Friday afternoon normally. And the reason for that is I normally never take the Thursday game unless I know that my Sunday games in Circa are not going to change. Because when you put in your Thursday night play in the Circa Millions, you have to include all 5 plays. And most of the time I want to see the injury reports. Guys, we're seeing injuries like crazy in the first 8-9 weeks of the NFL season. Now, if I know that injuries are not going to be an issue because I've been watching team reports all week and guys are full participation or limited participation, but they're not injured, and I'm not worried about the injury reports on Fridays, and I like the Thursday game, then I will take them. Circa does publish after the deadline, which I believe is 3 p.m. Vegas time, which is 6 p.m. our time. They do publish it on their Circa Sports app, the 5 games. And I'll start posting them after the deadline as well too. But the thing I wanted to state is my NFL picks at WagerTalk aren't the same as my Circa picks. The Circa picks are based on getting the best, because your numbers are locked in. So the numbers you're betting on Wednesday in the Circa contest are not the same as what the game day numbers are. So if anyone who's looking for like an end around of like, hey, I can get Carmine's picks for free on Sunday by taking his Circa picks, those are just 5 picks. And I normally only have like a couple picks on Sunday in the NFL because I've been running really good in the NFL since 2022. Number one, I will state it again when releasing 4 and 5% plays, and that's all I release on Sundays in the NFL. So with that said, I think 33 units for the year in NFL on Sundays.
Pretty good, man.
Boom, we got to go. It's just normally it's like I just ask Dan Alexander because the guy is just he's the best. Dan knows everything. So he's not here today, is he?
He keeps popping in to say hi for a second, then he's hopping out again. But he's keeping an eye on us.
Yeah. We need the black dot in the middle where the screen splits, and Dan is like he comes down from. He's like, the beam that comes from one of those spaceships, or maybe from God himself, and it's Dan Alexander
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. With that said, Andrew, let's talk out of nowhere. How did I pick this game? Seattle and San Diego, or San Jose. Minus 167, plus 139 on San Jose. It is weird wanting to take an over at 6.5 in this one, and but I do like it. The Seattle Kraken game against Chicago stayed under the total, 3-1. It was a pod play for me. 6.85 expected goals in that game. The teams created chances but could not finish. For the life of me, they could not finish, could not score, and you need those goals to go in early in order to have the chance to hit those totals. San Jose have gone over in every game on the road this season. I think it's only 5 or 6, with the exception of a game in New Jersey, which you can understand. that game's staying under the total because the Devils play some very good hockey defensively on the Rock. I'm going to lean to seeing some goals here between these two teams, and I'm going to take the over 6.5. If this was 6, it is 100% a play for me tonight for my clients. At 6.5, it's not. I can tell people wait for the first few minutes of the game. If there's no goal, you're going to get a 6 with a little bit of juice on it. So maybe it's something that you want a live in-game bet. But if there's an early goal, just avoid the game completely.
Carm, unfortunately, we're ending the show head-to-head, but hey, it's got to happen sometimes. With us a little bit here, there are some 6s available there, though. So if you like the 6, take the 6. If you like 6.5, the under, you take the under. But my numbers tell me that through this season so far, Seattle has the lowest expected goals for on the year, and San Jose has the 5th lowest expected goals for on the season. I think that this team has relied on the talent of those young kids playing on their team, San Jose. You know, some of these players that have been drafted over the past 2 years have just been able to make something out of nothing consistently. And we've seen over the past couple games, it's sort of started to fizzle away. And San Jose's looked pretty good. They've made some plays happen. They've been involved in some higher scoring games. I just think Seattle is that team overall that, you know, when you look at how they're playing, they can just be a little bit boring as well. Like they can trap teams into a you know, kind of a more defensive, low event game. They have a good defenseman, but they do lack offense. When I watched the Habs versus Kraken broadcast last week, they were just going on and on and on about how this team, when they score a couple early goals, they have to win that game because there's not that many goal scorers on the team. So when you get a lead, you have to be able to protect it. And Carm, you always talk about that 3-1, 4-1 lead, what it can do for a total. I feel like that's what could happen here. So I think if you like the over, you're cheering for San Jose to get off to the lead, because I think if Seattle gets up to 2-1, 3-1, they're going to go full on park the bus mode and try and win this game 3-1. So I would say that the dog, and this is kind of a rare occasion here, I think the dog actually correlates with the over and the favorite correlates with the under. And typically we would say it's the other way around, right? But I think the only way San Jose wins this one is they put up 4 or 5. But I think Seattle's comfortable in a low-scoring game here.
Yeah, again, that 4-1 scoreline, it just so many bad memories of that one. We always talk about, and Prez talked about it as well too, the 4-1 scoreline, especially in the third period, is a very tough one when you have the over, because in all likelihood, teams are not pulling their goalie down 3 unless it's John Cooper, let's say. And it's even worse when you have a play on it and a 5% play. Andrew has learned never to call me when I have a 5% play going. Even my wife doesn't come into the room, because it's not just my money, it's my client's money, and I'm vested in it. I remember once, I think it was last year, it could have been the year before, Buster calls me, and if Buster's watching this, he'll comment in the chat. Buster calls me, he goes, "Hey, I forgot to ask you what your 5% play was." And I go, "Over 5.5 in this game." He goes, "Oh, it's 4-1 at the end of the second period. Congratulations." The game finished 4-1, and I just lost it, man. I just I should just turn my phone off. I now put it on do not disturb, so I get nobody's messages. My wife, she doesn't even come into the same room. It's as far as my bankroll goes, Andrew, because I control my bankroll and I adhere to never putting all your cookies in one basket and going all in. And I hope the clients would do the exact same thing, so you can actually get through those small slumps that will come throughout a full season of NHL hockey or baseball or what have you, or any sport. But I still hate it when other people lose. It's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. That's how I'm conditioned. Is I'm more upset about them losing than I am about me losing, because I know some people don't adhere to bankroll management, and they really should. So
I'll say, Carl, my girlfriend will say that she's cheering for my 5% play, but I don't think she's actually cheering for the play. I think she's cheering for my mood, because she knows I'm going to be in a bad mood if the play loses. So she's like really just excited for the play because she wants me to be in a good mood for the rest of the night. And if she is not watching the game with me and she sees me after the game, she can instantly tell if the play won or lost without even asking me. And it's not a good thing, but she can pretty much tell right away. So that's how it is. We wear a heart on our sleeve, Carm, with those big plays.
And to talk about a couple games last night real quickly, like I was so not upset. I was so disappointed in the New York Islanders, which was my customer appreciation play, because they completely outplayed the Boston Bruins, but kept making mistakes. One deflected into goal, give up a penalty. They allowed the Bruins to stay in the game, and then the game goes to a shootout, OT, and then a shootout. And nothing good happens when a game goes to OT or a shootout. For the life of me, I cannot win one. The last time I think I won a shootout game, it went to like 17 skaters for the Washington Capitals. If you remember that one, it is just miserable. And then watching the Florida game, or some of the Florida game, I'm going to tell you this. My play on Florida last night as the pod play was predicated on Florida instilling their will on Anaheim. And it was the other way around. Anaheim just skated circles around Florida, up and down the ice. Florida had a power play. They were on them, pressuring them. So much speed on this Anaheim team that they're actually exciting to watch under Joel Quenneville. So I give them kudos. They should be at least at home. They're entertaining their fans and should be, if you can get them at plus money in some spots, maybe a bet on team until things change. But kudos to them, man. They played extremely well. And my pod play on Florida was about as useless as a fork when you're trying to eat soup.
Get this. I had the team total over for Florida, and I wake up to see they just got absolutely destroyed, and I could have just had the full game over. So that was kind of tough. That was tough to look at, thinking, okay, I needed one team to get 4 goals. Meanwhile, the other team puts up a ton of goals and doesn't even matter for me. My one, I got the same game parlay card, and then we'll get out of here. But one thing about this Anaheim team that's causing me trouble is that I feel like we're getting tough prices on them every night, and I feel like that compared to last year and then looking at this year, there's been such a drastic change of how the books feel about them. And I guess they've been made correct, but this is why I have not been on Anaheim enough this year, because I just feel like there's been such an instant correction on how the books feel they are. But I guess they are better. New coach, new players, young players getting better. So this team is getting a lot better, but we'll see. It's all about
natural hat trick for Cutter yesterday.
Gauthier looks great. Gauthier looks great. Yeah. What does he have? 9 goals, 10 goals?
Yeah. The hats, not a lot of hats on the ice, but enough. Maybe the fans in Anaheim haven't fully embraced the team as of yet. Hopefully they do. They got some talent on that team, and they are a fun team to watch. So fire Paul Maurice. Sorry, I had to throw that one in there. But with that said, yes, the 6 and 60 is on a Friday. Tomorrow we got Don Buster and Brian Leonard coming on to break down some shows, some games, because there's a huge card tomorrow as well too in the NHL. For myself, Champions League, 4 plays going this afternoon in Champions League. A couple games in the NHL tonight for me. I don't know what Andrew's laughing at there.
I was like, don't forget about the same game parlay. That's all.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get to that in a second. I figured I'd give you the same game and then have you close it out.
All right.
And stuff. So that's what's up for me today. One day All Access. You can pick them all up. And then I'm definitely looking forward to the 6 and 60. I'm hoping to have some swag so I can start running some contests soon. The embroidered PuckTime hats. So I'm going to see, they're sending me over a sample, Andrew, and I'll make sure you get one. And then I'll send some to our Detroit office because it'll be easier for them to mail them out to the winners. If they're listening right now, they're probably like, we don't want to do that. You do that. Anyways, well, guys, with that said, I'll send it to Andrew for a same game parlay and to close out the show. And one last word to you guys. We appreciate you guys always tuning in. Habrelic, Ice X, Titans, all of you guys that are always in our chat. We really appreciate you guys. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and then drop a comment in the comment section and let us know who your best bet is tonight. Andrew, same game parlay time.
Guys, again, Carmine's plays at WagerTalk.com, at Carmine Bianco, WT on X. Let's get to my same game parlay here. Let's see if I can pull this up, and here we go. All right, guys. This time we've got a handful of plays. Comes out to plus 456. Yesterday, the Minnesota Wild one is the one that hurt us the most because there weren't that many goals in that game. We get a lot of trends, a lot of stats that back up a lot of these plays here. We've got Strome, 2+ shots on goal from the Capitals. Ovechkin, 1+ point. Strome, 1+ point. Matthews to get at least 4 shots on goal. And Logan Cooley from the Utah Mammoth to get at least 2 shots on goal. That's plus 456. So we have 2 plays from the Maple Leafs and Utah Mammoth game. And we have 3 plays from the Capitals game. Strome over 1.5 shots. Ovechkin to record a point, and Strome to record a point. Matthews over on shots, and Cooley over on shots. Make sure you guys shop around, get the best price you possibly can on this same game parlay. And guys, with some of these props, make sure you're finding the alternate numbers, because I'm not always giving out regular. We're getting out the alternate ones. Very similar to the shots on goal for Cooley at over 1.5 minus 205. Not the over 2.5 at plus money. Plus 456, guys. Comment below if you're riding with me on this one. So far, we are 1-1 this week on the same game parlays, but we did cash the big 10-1 winner on Monday. Let's make some money, guys. 4% best bet for me in the NHL. We are also rocking with some props today. Let's make it a winning day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here on Puck Time.